Vinney Chopra, a man who took $7 to a portfolio of over $250 million in apartment investing. He mentors and coaches to make apartment syndication easy. Each week, he will share his expertise, tricks, trades, and golden nuggets how to master the art of syndication to bring cash flow streams to your business, to change your life for the better. Here is Mr. Smiles.
Hi guys, this is Syndication Made Easy with Vinney Chopra, also known as Mr. Smiles. Mr. Smiles is one of the top syndication investors in the U.S. to date. He came to this country with about $7 in his pocket, and now he is able to acquire and manage over $250 million in syndications so far. Each week, he'll be teaching golden nuggets that his mastermind students, they usually pay thousands and thousands of dollars from. But I'm going to be getting the information for you guys each week. I'm going to be pulling it from Mr. Chopra, and we're going to be talking about the syndication and investment business. So, guys, let's get down to business, and let's talk with Mr. Vinney Chopra, also known as Mr. Smiles, and get the top golden nuggets that he offers to his students.
Hi, Alicia.
Hi, how you doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm trying to see my color, my light,
make sure everything looks good.
Studio. We're trying to fix the lights. I hope my audiovisual people will come and fix it all up. Then it'll be just hunky-dory. We just moved into this place 2 days back. So my things are still in boxes. So that's okay.
But between both of us, maybe neither one of us have our offices set up. I moved 2 weeks ago. He moved 2 days ago. So, all right, guys. So we're going to be talking about brokers today. So I'm going to kind of get into the nitty gritty with Mr. Smiles about, working with brokers, what it's all about, and how it basically places into the apartment syndication world. So, Mr. Smiles, talk to me about brokers. What is the deal with them? What is
okay? Brokers are the life and blood of syndication. I know a lot of my students and investors, they probably also do a lot of letter campaigns, which is we are trying to get to the seller, but the seller, a true letter campaign or cards or texting, which is very popular now. But the thing is, the brokers still will really make or break us. And if we are nice to them, they could do a great job for us. They can really take us in confidence, Alicia, and they can give us pocket listings. Now, pocket in the pocket. But also in my new book coming up, Syndication Made Easy, I hope the audience goes for that one in the Kindle edition or the print edition or audio book. That's where I explain also the napkin listing. So I really came across this napkin listing word. I invented it because a lot of brokers were trying to sell me the same product, and we'll talk about that. So the brokers are very, very essential part of our business. I'm a broker, by the way, in California, active broker, but I don't really buy or sell in California, but I'll share some golden nuggets, what I've been able to teach other people.
Okay. No, I love it. And I'm excited about your book. Guys, I've got the privilege to work with Mr. Smiles on this project, and it has a ton of information in it that it will help you take your business to the next level and really breaks down the syndication business. Okay, so let's just say that, you say that the brokers are a lifeline to your syndication business. Let's say you're coming to a new market, because brokers are going to have their favorite investors that they work with. That's just how it goes.
Yep.
Right? So let's just say you're moving to which was another podcast that we're doing on emerging markets. But let's just say we're coming into a brand new market and we have no connections. Okay. Yeah. How do you know which broker to start with? Or do you just work with all of them? How does that process work? And how do you do your introduction? How do you build that trust?
Okay, very good question. Alicia, again, I believe that when we have determined the emerging market, just like you said, we don't want to waste the time of brokers. See, that is the key thing. Once you have really pinned down the market and the number of units, you got to also decide what you can afford. If you're pulling money together, how much money is there from the investors? How much is your net worth? How much cash you have to be able to put the earnest money and all that, right? And the expenses incurred in buying the apartment complex. So that is very, very important for us to figure out, can I afford 15 units or 20 units or 30 units or 100 units? So once we know how many number of units I can purchase, I would try to go into that emerging market and find the brokers who specialize in those segments of units. See, there are brokers who sell smaller number of units. There are brokers who are macho, big brokers. They sell 100, 150 units. There are brokers who are very big. They sell 200 to 400, 500 units. So if we try to reach the 500 units and we can only afford 10 units, that's where the irony of the situation is. Lots of my investors are in that frame of mind. I'm going to get 200 units. Then I ask them, how many investors you got? How many millions of dollars you got? Yeah. So I would say that's where, you got to really look at what segment you can afford and then establish relationships with those brokers.
Okay. Now, I want to go into a little detail about if you're coming to a new market, like if you know the market and you know the brokers you're talking to and you're working with, you know which ones are good and which ones aren't, because not all brokers are great, even though they are the lifeline to syndication business and they are very important. You don't want to waste their time, especially the ones that are good, because the ones that are good that can make you a lot of money. How do you distinguish whether somebody's full of it or not? As far as being a broker, because all of them are like, oh yeah, I can get you anything you want. What do you want? As soon as they get their commission. So how do you establish as an investor what brokers you want to work with and which ones you don't?
Good point.
Who's good?
I would say, when you are coming brand new to the market, Alicia, you want to try to reach several brokers, because some will give some hearing to you, some will blow you off, some will send you crud. I call it crud, because they're going to test you as an investor. How much do you know the lingo? Are you really there to stay? Are you just tasting the water with just your tip in the hot water? Like I say, because you got to really understand what's going in the psyche of investors, brokers, lawyers, attorneys, everybody. You can be better person if you put yourself in their shoes. What's important to them? See? So what's important to the brokers? They want to close fast, like you just said. They want to make commissions. They don't want any troubles, from the investors who they have to teach them. So again, once you find somebody, I don't try to go to the top VPs and the directors. I like to start a little bit at the lower level in the brokers, because they are the ones who do the grunt work. To be true,
they're hungry.
They are the hungry ones. Exactly. They're young. They would like to help you. They want to, show their higher ups that they could close a deal. They could get a good buyer and then investor buyer. And then, they can progress along. It takes them many, many years to move along the ladder, because the top people have been there for a reason. They have done it what the peon has done to start with, right? Every business, you got to really start from the lower level, then move up. I also believe that, each broker has their own trees and branches. What do I mean by that? In a community, people have relationships, they know some people, they get referred by and all that. So different people, different sellers will be not giving all their deals to one broker. They're going to be giving it to several brokers. I really like the boutique brokers. In other words, these are the small established people who have been selling in that market for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I say big cheeses. Of course, the Marcus Millichaps, the Cushman Field, the ARAs, the Berkadias, the Transwesterns, all of them are really big cheeses. They are big Northmark, all these people, CBREs. I'm missing some more. But the thing is, also try to find these brokers who are established there, mom and pop, they're big, they do a lot of multifamily, and that's what it is all about.
So going back to my question about, how do you know if a broker is worth working with and spending your time, like looking at the deals they give you? Because like I said, like we were talking about, because they aren't commission only. Yes, you want the hungry ones, but you also want a broker that's not going to waste your time by throwing you crap deals. So what is maybe like one or two things you can look out for, or can you kind of point me in that right direction? If I'm brand new to a market, I'm going to work with brokers, I'm going to go try to build relationships. What are some maybe key contributors that you would see that I could look out for to say, okay, this broker's full of it, I don't want to work with them, or this broker I want to because I see this from them?
Excellent. No, I think you hit the nail on the head by asking, see, the thing is, it's a dating game. I say you cannot marry right away, right? You got to really find out how they respond to us and how we respond to them, what product they give us, what multifamily. If I'm asking them to give me 20 units or 20 to 50 units, when they send it to you, they're going to actually send us the crud first, because they're going to test us more than we can test them. That's how I look at it. So you got to be knowledgeable. You got to say very specifically, hi, Mr. Broker. Hi, John. Hey, I'm Vinney Chopra. We have group of investors who have accumulated, the equity, and we are ready to purchase. See, you got to say those words because they want to sell. They don't want
the money and I'm ready to buy.
I know, exactly. I'm the manager of it, and I'm seeking out to acquire and look into these assets. So would you have any listings that you might have right now in the 15 units to 50, because that's how far we can go? Or you have any in the pipeline? That's the word, pipeline. Or you are working with some sellers, because we try to, like every other investor, they want to get the pocket listing. So I hope that I can build relationship with you so that you could give me, one or two or great assets and we can decide quickly. Okay, that's not the word. They want decision quickly because they are not going to just give you that asset. They're going to give it to 5 or 10 of their top investors. See, each broker has 5 levels of investors. And you're coming at the bottom of the pile and they're going to give you crud. But as you build relationship with them, talk to them every 10 days. I say in my academy, which is a great academy, and I teach everything that I'm talking about in my podcast in the academy, and you don't have to pay thousands of dollars listening to me, all these audience around the world. You could just enter online academy. I really believe in just doing everything online because that's the cutting edge. You could learn. I have recorded that 728 lectures, by the way, 728. How much information my students will get, nobody has done it. I walk the talk every day, and we have been doing this for 10, 12 years with 4 companies and then 5th company now. Alicia, the big thing is to put a little plug in there, but the thing is with the brokers, you got to be really adhering to them, get in confidence and move the ladder up from the crud, the 5th level, to 4th, to 3rd, to 2nd, to 1. Now, when you reach that level, which I was able to reach, by the way, in Houston market, I developed my own market. I was doing syndications every 2 months, a new syndication, because these powerhouses, they were giving me the pocket listings or napkin listings, I call it, in my book coming up, which is, again, another plug for all the students and listening audience. Vinney is a salesperson, guys. Motivation speaker, salesperson, marketer, a broker, in syndicator, investor, a father, and a husband, and brother.
A little bit of everything.
We gotta live our life to the fullest. That's the thing. I'm trying to still figure it out. My lighting in this new office. But I know. And the sun comes and sun goes. That's okay. But let's talk about. You're right. Brokers, they will feel you out. See, if you're not telling them the truth, if you're not returning, if they send you a property, you got to analyze it that day, that moment. Within 4 or 5 hours, you figure out whether you want to go with it or not go with it. Why you don't want to go with it. See, so you got to give reasons. You don't say, hey, Mr. John, hey, Bob, the property you send is crud. They don't want to hear that. You want to give them specifics about the area, the crime rate, the demographics.
Just so that you've done your research,
exactly.
Right? You've got your homework done.
You got to give some good feedback, critique, so that they can give you better. See, that's what it is. Once you teach them, hey, this is where I'm ready to buy, and this is what class of, is it a C class that I'm going to reposition, or a B minus, or B in an A area? I'll teach all those things to my audience as they latch on to me, every week.
Okay, no, and I'll be pulling all the information you guys need out of Mr. Smiles. So be sure to comment and like and share this video if you have any questions. Please feel free to reach out to Mr. Chopra through his website at vinneychopra.com, and you'll also have his email address, and we will be happy to answer any questions you have about working with brokers or any other part of the apartment syndication world. Yeah. But going back to the brokers, so I know you don't want to waste their time. You want to analyze their deals immediately. You want to basically show them that you're serious, that you're ready to buy now, that you have the money, and realize that you're going to have to work for their trust a little bit, and be aware of that, especially if they don't know it and they don't know you and they've never worked with you before, because there's something called pocket listings, which I'm going to do an entire podcast on. But Vinney, can you just give me the definition of what a pocket listing is? Now, I know the answer to this, but just to share with the audience what a pocket listing is.
And the napkin listing, which is the new concept. And it's just so amazing once you are able to really put those things together in their mind. Hey, John, I know you are familiar with the pocket listing, but I want to share, my mentor, Vinney Chopra, shared with me something called napkin listing. So napkin, just like a paper napkin.
Like a paper napkin. Okay.
Next, when we do that podcast, I'm going to bring the napkin from my kitchen, because I have an office in my home. For 42 years, I've had my office in my home. So I'm really excited. And then we'll talk about, how to set goals and how to have aspirations and dreams, because that's the other podcast we are doing. Because, see, we moved into our dream home just recently. It took me about 10 years to get here. And I set that goal in my life way back when, and then I gave up on that goal. And a lot of us give up on our goals. And that's what I want to talk about in my Motivation Talk show. That's the other podcast that you and I are doing. Alicia, thank you for cooperating in that. And that's going to be another exciting one. So the audience, I hope you get double dose from Vinney Chopra, the Motivation Talk show, to take your life to a new level, your business to a new level. Vinney's still selling again right here. And then also this show, which is the motivation. It's the syndication made easy. My book is coming out too. So we're going to take on the world. That's what it's all about. My passion really is to move millions of people from the single family world of investing, or putting money into retirement funds, in mutual funds, or, the stocks and all precious metals, cryptocurrency, or what you can. A lot of money is under the pillow around the world, but put it into real estate. That is the world you want to be in, and get the advantages of the tax advantages and all that. I know I go all different directions. You got to bring me back, Alicia.
So much energy. Okay, so let's get back to business. Let's get back to business. And this is why I'm here, guys. I just bring Mr. Smiles back here to us. Every time we get his golden nuggets, he's got so much energy and so much content. It's insane. So that's why I'm here working with him. But let's go back to, so what's a pocket listing? What's a napkin listing? What's the definition?
Okay. See, the pocket listing is as the broker is talking to the seller, and as a matter of fact, they are trying to get into their skin, I call it, or into their mind, hey, give me the listing, because not just one broker is going to list with the talk to that seller, just like when we sell single family home, right? The seller seeks out to 2, 3, 4 brokers to say, hey, what's your market plan? How many investors you got? What's your, thing? Oh my gosh, I just got to change this little thing here. That's okay. But the thing is, you want to get the best deal, best price, all that, and work with a professional who's going to market your property, right? In single family. Same thing is true for multifamily too, because multifamily is a bigger ticket item. So the sellers have some idea in their mind how much their property is worth. And they want to talk to several brokers in the commercial market and ask them, hey, what's the broker price opinion? BPO, that's the one. Or what's the value of the asset, we call it, by giving them financials and things like that. It takes some time, Alicia, to do that. It may take a month,
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the broker will say, okay, I will give you this, and they'll sign. Now it's a pocket listing in the pocket. Napkin listing is they are meeting with the seller first time. They're writing on a napkin some of the information. And
I love it.
at that time, I want to get that address of the property.
Yeah.
So
you can do
that is
home
where
research.
I say napkin listing.
So napkin listing is the first time you're meeting with the seller, and you're talking whatever, blah blah blah, back and forth, and you're sitting down, you're sitting in a coffee shop or whatever, and you put all your information on a napkin. When it's a pocket listing, they actually have the listing. The broker has the listing, and they have been signed. They've already signed for it, and that's now in their pocket now that they can reach out to their investors with.
So true. Because see, the napkin listing, they don't have the listing yet, but they could give the address to somebody like me, and I bought 10 of them. Well, 12 of them in the last 4 years. 12 syndications I've done, more than a lot of people. But the thing is, I buy them from napkin. I buy them right there. They just give me the address of the property. That's all I need to know. I can go to I'll teach everything, all my skills right here for free to all the audience, how I get to the brokers, how I get them, how do I do my total team, does the acquisition mode, how we go and vet the neighborhoods, demographics, crime rates, everything. We make a decision, and then we go into different places to get the rent roll and the financials and all that. And we have our own criteria also, how to do all the expenses and all that we can run, because we manage our assets. See, we don't have to talk about, but then also how to get the lender involved, the loan broker, the insurance broker involved, the real estate attorneys involved. I'll teach everything.
No, I love it. And I'll be pulling all the information you guys need, like I said. But let's get back to the broker's deal. So once you decide that you're working with a broker,
Yes.
And that you kind of built that relationship, how many deals do you typically see from them in a month? Or does that depend on industry or where you're investing?
Good point. Very good point, Alicia. See, the thing is, of course, the brokers are working very hard. Associate brokers, the counselors, the directors, everybody, they're trying to pitch lots and lots of sellers. They're trying to get referrals. They're trying to get all that. So I would say these listings, pocket listings, don't come every day, or the napkin listings don't come every day. You got to take the one they give you, do due diligence right away, and let them know, hey, this is a go or a no-go. And especially the napkin listings take a little bit longer time also, maybe a week, 10 days. I know my first property I bought, Albion, people might like to look at that. I paid $8.7 million. It's worth $13.7 million in just 4 years, $5 million increase. I'm not selling it yet, but the thing is you got to look at, how much information you can get your own, being the biggest detective, I call it, to find out what you can find out about that property from an address. That's what it is from the address. The thing is, these listings don't come every day. Of course, a lot of pocket listings are bombarding my laptop every day. I get maybe 4 to 10 listings every day sent to my, to my laptop, to my thing, because I entered as a CEO of the acquisition companies at their website. So when they send it out to 9,000 people or 11,000 people or 22,000 people around the world, then I get it, those listings too. But the biggest thing is how to get these brokers in your target market in confidence so that they give you the first dibs at it. See, the thing is, when they send it out in the email or put it on CoStar or put it on LoopNet in these different modes, they are out to the world. But before they do that, Alicia, they have 5 levels, like I mentioned to you, right? So, they try to give it to very close people, maybe 5 people, 5 investors who have really been going with them, because a listing broker would love to sell it also themselves. Yeah. That's the key. And that's what I decided, by the way, 14 years back. I said, I'm a broker. I could make 100,000, 200,000, 400,000 by taking a split commission. It's called split commission. But I just didn't want to do that. I was looking at the millions, not hundreds, You got to think big. David J. Schwartz, that's a great book, The Magic of Thinking Big. I would love the audience to really get that book. David J. Schwartz, Magic of Thinking Big. Maybe Agmandino. I need to look at those books. I've got all of them in my library as we moved. So we're going to bring out a book or two every podcast also. Anyway, but the thing is, you got to think big. You got to have affirmations. You got to really take massive action every day to make it happen.
No, definitely. And so let's go back to the syndication business and working with brokers. So what do you say that you get from one market? How many deals a week do you get? Like, okay, so I know there's different types of deals. There's deals that they're giving out to everybody. There's pocket listings. There's napkin listings. But if I'm coming to a market and I'm new and I'm working with brokers, how many deals should I expect a week in my mailbox?
Okay.
Or text me and say, hey, I got something for you.
Good point, Alicia. Again, like I said, one broker might be able to give you one listing only every few weeks or few months. But if they are in a big powerhouse brokerage, they might have other people also building relationships, and they'll be able to get it from the other sellers. So you might get 2 or 3. Pocket listings or napkin listings don't come that easy. So that might be like once a month or every 2 months, things like that. And in my case, when I was down there, we were in San Antonio, we were in Texas, we were all over the place, San Marcos, near Austin, Seguin, all that. We were getting these deals from Odessa and Midland. Many of you have seen me or heard me on the 78 podcasts or more. The biggest thing is that we got to take every lead we get. The more you make that lead constructive feedback, the broker will endear to you, because we are talking about brokers today. Mm-hmm. So brokers want to bring you into confidence, find out their children's names, their dog's name, where they like to vacation, their wife's name, their spouse, all that, because you got to make them your friend. You got to make your friend through relationship building. And then, the thing is sending gifts. I teach my students, you got to send gifts. The broker who gave me, by the way, these 2 properties in Atlanta, I just flew there for 4 days. 4 days. I had so many pieces of information in my Dropbox about Atlanta. I looked at it for a year or so when I moved there in 2016. That's 3 years back now. And it took me about 7 months to capture so many articles and everything. When I went there for only 4 days, and I saw billions of dollars will be spent in Atlanta. This is 2015 now. So I said to myself, okay, I'm going to learn everything about this market. Why the jobs are coming, what the governments are doing, how many more products are coming into Atlanta, multifamily, how many permits have been, all that stuff. You got to do your homework. The second thing is then you fly there, you make appointments. You show, I was a kid, from Texas, and Atlanta was brand new, Georgia, new state. So I had to show my some little bit track record, hey, who I am, and so forth, so forth. And then they bought my game. Now they started giving me pocket listings. So the two properties I bought, which I'm selling one, by the way, in 20 months, right away, because it's gone in value by $5 million. $5 million. Oh my gosh, not talking about hundreds of $100 or $200 or $1,000, $5 million. And my other property I bought because it was a napkin listing again. No, it was not. The second property, the broker sold me the first one. I was in the parking lot. He said, Vinney, do you have 10 minutes? I said, I do. And then he takes me to another property. But he wanted to show me this second one after I have fully started the due diligence on the first one. I can see his point. He didn't want to, give everything in one, and he would say, Vinney will not buy it. But I bought the second property in 1 hour because that was the better of the two. And I had bought the first one already. Then I bought the second one, which is grown in value by 7 million. Sorry, not 7, about 4.5 to 5 million also. That's my townhouses, 191 units. Anybody who's listening to me, everything I talk about is practical. You could reach me. You could see monilcommunities.com. I forgot about that. monilcommunities.com, monilinvest.com, or vinneychopra.com. That's VINNEYCHOPRA.com. You could see my podcasts, over 78 podcast blogs that I'm writing, and all these different podcasts. I'm trying to put a little plug in there. This is the brand new podcast.
Mr. Smiles, always getting it done, always closing. He's ABC all day long. Always be closing, Mr. Smiles. Love it. Love it. So, Livmo, talk to me about brokers' experience. How much does that play into your decision whether you want to work with them or not? What if they're new? Do you find the new ones are better because they're more hungry? Or do you find the experience with brokers is something that's key so you're not wasting your time?
I would say both. Of course, the new ones will give you more information, Alicia, and they will talk to you more, and they will like to make impression on you. So I like to work with new ones, to be truthful, because see, the thing is they are working in an outfit. So most of the new ones, associate, they call them many times, and they are the ones who are really doing the grunt work, I try to say. So they know the address, they are working on the package, they are getting the financials, they are getting the rent rolls, all that. So I try to not only get involved with them, but also try to go higher up too, so that they know who Vinney is. Of course, with my track record now, it's much easier to sell my story. But the new investors, they have to put together, like talk about the credibility kit, you got to put together your beautiful brochure, and a lot of gurus, they teach that don't do this, don't do that. I believe you have only one chance to make your best impression with the investors, with the brokers, with everybody, attorneys, brokers. So you got to really get your shit together. I don't use the word that much, but somehow, but you got to put your things together, so that people will look at you and say, hey, he's a professional. He's got a website. Everybody likes to look at you and see who you are before they do business nowadays, Yeah.
So on spirits level, you prefer the newbies just because there's
yes,
more
I do. Of course. Especially a lot of my investors are buying 12 units, 15 units, 20 units, 100 units. Some of my superstars are buying 300 units, 200 units like that very quickly. So I teach everything. I give every dosage in my academy to everybody who could take it and run with it. Massive action is really, really true. They have to apply for a mentorship because I don't accept anybody into my program.
No, and that's actually really true, guys. And if you want to actually apply, you can go to VinneyChopra.com, and I'll have the links here below for you to do that. But okay, so I have one more question before I get into the nuggets of advice, which I always ask Vinney at the end of the show. What is the typical role of a broker? How far did they get involved with the deal?
Okay, good point. Alicia, I would say broker is the seller's agent, right? And you want to make that broker also your agent. So they will have dual fiduciary responsibility. That's something I decided on that 14 years back when I became a broker. I could have made few thousands of dollars, because you could take a split commission, it's called. But I told my brokers, hey guys, guess what? You are right here. This is where the seller is, and the selling broker is right there. There's no vacuum. It's just touching each other. I say that. Then I come here. If I have a buyer broker here and I'm over here as a buyer, there is a lot of vacuum in the middle. So I hope the audience can see where I'm coming from. I try to come right here next to the broker. There is the seller, there is the broker listing and the selling broker, and then he's also my buyer broker. I come right here. There is no vacuum. There's no vacuum. So now I see the temperature of the seller firsthand. I see the motivation. I can get the reports. I can get the financials, the rent roll, the capex reports. How many boilers have been changed? How many this? How many that? And the broker can give me all that information so quickly. When you have these buyer and seller brokers, there is so much gap and you don't know what the buyer broker is asking or telling the seller broker. This way, I have been so successful in doing this 26, 27 syndications that I've done. And I'm going to be in the 28, 29, 30 quickly, because the reason is that philosophy serves you so well. Not only that, the selling broker has vested interest in giving you the information quickly and fast because they want to sell it. They want to list it, sell it, list it, sell it. So they're able to make double the money. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But so it kind of depends if you're working straight with the seller's broker, and it's also your buyer. You're the buyer, so it's your broker also. So they just get involved up until you guys close on the property, and that's it. And they get involved up to what point? So basically, any questions that you have or concerns from the seller, whatever that case is, they do get involved in that aspect and manage that relationship, correct?
Yes, exactly right. I'm so glad you're saying that, because we do start from the start, LOI, letter of intent. I would do a whole podcast on that, how to do the right way. Then the contract, the PSA, that's the purchase and sale agreement with the broker involved, with the seller's attorney and buyer's attorney, both of, I'll talk about that. And then, of course, the lender, the loan broker getting involved. Then the phase one, which is the environmental study, the survey, all that. We'll cover the whole gamut of things. And then the broker is the one who really, they don't get paid until we close. So they want to go all the way to the end. And hopefully they will send you a big bouquet of flower or some great chocolates, dark chocolates that Vinney Chopra likes. Anyway, any of the audience can reach my heart by sending dark chocolates, Godiva. I love Godiva, and also from Europe and Paris. Any of my friends all over the world, please do send. No, I'll share with you, Alicia. I'll share with you. I promise. But the thing is, I love dark chocolates anyway. And fruits. I love fruits also. But the thing is, and I love to drink. And by the way, we don't want to talk about that. But
we'll talk about that in the motivation podcast that we're doing.
I know. But the big thing is, we want to really give the best to everybody we come in touch with. That's the same thing with brokers. We want to pour our heart out to really let them know you are genuine, you have the money, you have the investors who will be ready to purchase, because their goal is to sell. Your goal is to buy. But do the kind of things that I teach you in my academy so that you can be successful.
And that actually answers my next question, which is, can you give us a nugget of advice? And I always ask Vinney that at the end of our podcast because he always has some great things to say. So when working with brokers, if you had one piece of advice to give a brand new investor, what would it be?
I would say, you should definitely write down, take notes, small CRM or Excel. I used to work on Excel. I take a lot of my Excel is now my iPhone or Android, whatever you have. In the contact, in the notes section, if one thing I could mention is take a lot of notes under the note section, because when you are calling your broker, you could read it and see their wife's name and child's name and the pets and all that and what vacation they went on. Send them articles, send them anything their brokerage has done or closed on deals. They like to hear, guys. I mean, you got to build relationship with the brokers. Don't just leave them alone. The grease is given to the squeakiest wheel. I believe that. Squeakiest wheel gets the grease. And that's what it's all about. Send them gifts. Write them notes, personal notes. Talk to them every 10 days or 2 weeks. And text them and call them and email them. And, make them feel proud and, and send them articles that can really bring their business to a new level. So give them all the nuggets, do something special for the brokers every week, every 10 days, and build them, and have them in your phone. When they call on you, I like to go on their website and take a picture. So when they're calling me, I can see their smiley face, as they call me. So all those nuggets, if you do that religiously, what I teach you, you're going to be very big force in the commercial syndication world.
So taking notes for sure, and just kind of building that relationship with the brokers.
Totally.
Would be where we're going from here. All right, guys, you just got your weekly syndication golden nuggets from Mr. Smiles, Vinney Chopra. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment each week and get your syndication investing and managing business to the next level. Have a terrific week. And Vinney says, make it happen each day. Be sure to reach out to Mr. Smiles through his website at vinneychopra.com, and you'll find that link here in the show notes. You guys can learn from Mr. Smiles through his academy, and you can apply through the mentorship on his website. You could also partner with him and invest with him. So, Vinney, I enjoyed our conversation today about brokers. And guys, we're going to go into more. We're going to really dive into brokers here coming up soon in the future. But I just kind of wanted to get a light overview on how he works with brokers and what he should, what somebody who's new in the business should look out for. So thank you, Vinney, so much for our weekly syndication.
Thank you, Alicia. I really appreciate that. Guys, please tune in, subscribe, Facebook. You could see me live also on Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific. I live near San Francisco. I will be broadcasting from my office, from my beautiful place here. The big thing is that you got to make things happen. Don't just be learning these things and not applying. See, I have never read. I've bought thousands of books. You probably did too. But I only read the book, few pages to find 3 nuggets and 4 nuggets so that I can apply in my life. I mean, we cannot do these things if we don't apply. So good luck to you. See you next week. And let's have a great day. Bye-bye, Alicia.
Bye.
Be sure to listen to Mr. Smiles next week with more golden nuggets and top-notch coaching tips. You can reach him by going to vinneychopra.com or texting the word syndication to 474747. Be sure to like, comment, and share to show everyone how Mr. Smiles has brought your apartment syndication business to the next level.